Hello. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating topic that has the potential to shift our understanding of the world and our place in it. We will be discussing the difference between the physical earth and the artificially created world, consisting of human-made borders, laws, and commercial systems. Imagine a map of the world with its familiar borders, countries, and cities. This map represents the artificially constructed world that we are familiar with. But what if I told you that this map is actually an overlay, just a human-made construct that has been superimposed over the physical earth? This overlay map represents the complex system of laws, borders, and commercial agreements that govern our lives on many levels. It's the fictional framework that defines our relationships with each other, with governments, and with corporations. But it's essential to recognize that this overlay map of the world is not at all the same as the true physical earth. The distinction between the world and the earth is not as clear as we might think. And only if you looked to the Bible would you know that there is a difference. The world refers to the fictionally constructed system of laws, borders, and commercial agreements. In contrast, the earth refers to the physical plane with its natural landscapes, ecosystems, and resources. This distinction is crucial because it allows us to see that the world is a human-made fictional construct wrapped around a ball subject to change and revision by mere men acting as kings. The earth, on the other hand, is the natural physical reality which exists independently of all human constructs and its borders and man-made rules. So, what does it mean when we talk about the end of the world? Is it a catastrophic event that marks the end of civilization, or is it something more nuanced? The end of the world could be a positive event, marking the collapse of the artificially constructed system. The perspective is reflected in the song lyrics, "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by R.E.M. In this sense, the end of the world represents a transformation, a shift from an artificial construct to one given to us all by nature and our Creator. The end of the world is an opportunity for us to open our eyes to the earth's natural truth and our relationships with each other, with the understanding that the world of governments and corporations are all just fiction. The concept of the New World Order is frequently associated with a dystopian future, where a small elite group controls the world's resources and its populations within borders. But now that we know the difference between the natural earth and the fictional world, it's much easier to see what these so-called elites really control is nothing but fiction. We all believe the NWO is something so complex, but the truth comes down to the fact that we all were taught that the world and the earth were one in the same, when nothing could be further from the truth. By embracing this simple distinction between the understanding of the earth and the world, the existing power structures will ultimately lose control or be left holding their elaborate map and borders with no participants willing to act on their fictional stage. With this knowledge, the NWO could be in a transitional phase and on its way out, by marking the end of their old paradigm and the beginning of a new one where we live in the reality of this great earth. The deep distinction between the world and the earth highlights the importance and need in recognizing these tricks and traps and understanding why it's so crucial to make the distinction between being a man upon the earth or merely a person of the world. As sovereign men and women, we have the right to make choices about our lives, our relationships, and our interactions with the world around us. Don't allow this world order to label us and draw us all into smaller and smaller boxes. Our collective sovereignty has been compromised by the artificial constructs they call the world, and we are encouraged by them to identify ourselves as citizens, persons, or consumers, rather than as sovereign man and woman who live upon the earth unrestrained. By our identifying with their world and their construction of persons, it ultimately leads us to a total loss of autonomy as we become subject to the rules, regulations, and lines in the sand of a man-made system of fiction. In conclusion, the distinction between the world and the earth offers us a powerful perspective on the nature of our reality. By recognizing the artificially constructed system for what it is, we can begin to see the world in its proper light. We can start to question the rules and regulations that govern our lives upon this game board, which they control and call the world. And now understand that the New World Order is nothing more than those who believe they are in control, rearranging their fictional construct. We can begin to assert our sovereignty and autonomy, recognizing that we have the right to make choices about our lives and our relationships upon this earth as man. As we move forward, it's essential to keep this perspective in mind. We're not just passive participants in the system, we're active co-creators with the power to shape our own reality. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration. I hope that this discussion has inspired you to think differently about the fictional world we live upon. And I pray it has inspired you to join me back home upon this great open plain that we all call Earth, singing. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.